I discovered this from a friend of mine who learned it from a huge teacher in New York City, and because the woman was so large, she couldn't really demonstrate perfectly herself, but this woman was able to work on it and develop it for herself, and she found that by loosening the hips as you're singing or breathing, and it works particularly well sitting in a chair, so you're stable and you're just sort of rocking like this in a chair. It loosens everything up, and if you start breathing in regularly and breathing out, suddenly your breaths become longer and longer, and the larynx goes naturally down, the palate goes naturally up, and you're basically in an optimal position to be singing. And suddenly you open your mouth and you start doing a regular exercise of an arpeggio, and suddenly where you would be having a little bit of a problem of the larynx going up around a D or an E or an F, nothing happens. It feels like it's just the middle of your voice.
From just doing that exercise, that simple wiggling your bum kind of exercise.
Yes.
You were mentioning the sphincter. What about that?
That it's supposedly a very strong muscle in your body, and if that is tense, then there's more chance for the whole body to become tense all the way up. And then of course coming up to the diaphragm, which needs to be very flexible with tone, but not tense. And then it comes up to the throat as well, and then the larynx would go up more easily, and there's tension in the jaw and in the tongue if your sphincter is tight.
That's so interesting.
Linda demonstrates this exercise as she's lying down. She takes 2 or 3 breaths, and then she talks a little bit about it when she sits up.
And the whole time, the small of the back is on the ground. So basically, you're able to open the entire back, which many voice teachers speak about. And often in your standing position, you want the singer to be standing so that there's not an arch in the back, but that it's tucked under here, so that they have more solidity. Basically, you're grounding yourself is what's happening. Then, when you can start doing it in a chair, you have to, brace your arms so in a chair with arms, and hold yourself so that nothing is moving except the hips. It's not a motion from the legs or the feet, it's simply the hips that are moving back and forth. And you can take a breath in and a breath out, and then you can start doing an arpeggio, and suddenly your voice sounds as though you're singing high, but it doesn't feel at all high. It feels like you're absolutely singing in the middle of your range. It's fascinating.